Hey guys, welcome to my review of Superboy issue number 8. In the last issue of Superboy, we see Superboy, is fed up with n.o.w.h.e.r.e because he has so many questions for them, but he never gets any answers from them, or even a straight answer. So he decides to put his foot down, he's going to go to n.o.w.h.e.r.e and, get some answers. But upon doing so, he actually gets himself captured by them. And now n.o.w.h.e.r.e is getting ready to dissect him. But before they can actually do that, the Teen Titans come along and try to rescue him, as we see Wonder Girl slam Rose Wilson's face against the wall, knocking her out. And of course this is a sign or a symbol that, the Teen Titans are here to rescue Superboy and take out n.o.w.h.e.r.e. Now I have to mention to you guys, before I get into the review, if you want to tie in Superboy issue number 7 to Superboy issue number 8, you're going to have to pick up Teen Titans issue number 7. It even mentions in the end of Superboy issue number 7 to actually see the fight between the Teen Titans and n.o.w.h.e.r.e and how they rescue Superboy in order to, connect it to Superboy issue number 8, because they don't explain what happens in between. They just start off the comic with after the Teen Titans save Superboy. So I suggest you guys pick up Teen Titans even if you don't collect the series. Just pick up the issue just to read how the Teen Titans save Superboy. And still, it's a standalone, really good issue in itself, even if you aren't a fan of the Teen Titans series. Still a good issue, because the Superboy and Teen Titans series are actually tied together, one way or another. But yeah, now to get on to my review of Superboy issue number 8. So we open up with Superboy getting punched in the face by this metahuman named, I'm going to probably butcher his name here. It's on the front cover. His name is Grungy. So like I said, it doesn't pick up where issue number 7 left off. You start off on a whole different, timeline or wherever, afterwards Teen Titans saved, Superboy. So we see that happen. He's getting punched in the face by this new metahuman character named Grungy. And what ends up happening is that he actually gives us some information. Because he actually mentions something called the culling, and actually in the front cover of this issue, it says prelude to the culling, or the culling prelude. So some kind of secret organization again, besides n.o.w.h.e.r.e. I don't know, some kind of cult, who knows? But he does mention a rather interesting fact here, or some information that he says that Superboy and Rose Wilson are supposed to be joining the Ravagers, or Superboy is supposed to be the one who's going to lead the Ravagers. Now, if you've never heard of the Ravagers before, it's fine. It's going to be explained. But I'm just going to put this just put this information here for you guys. The Ravagers is actually a new comic book that's going to be coming out, because a couple of the new 52 comic books will be getting dropped. So DC Comics wants to keep the 52 number, still intact. So they're going to get some new comics to replace the ones that are being dropped. And one of them is being, Ravager. And I heard that Ravager is basically a story about a couple of metahumans, or basically the government is trying to gather metahumans and use them for their own gain. Sort of like turning them into villains, or making them sort of terrorists, I guess. I don't know. That's what I've heard. It sounds interesting, but I won't be picking it up. But if it does interest you, just wait for the second wave of comics to come out and get the first issue of Ravagers. But that's, the new information. We find out that Superboy and Rose Wilson will actually be joining the Ravagers, or are supposed to be joining them. We also know Grungy's metahuman powers is actually a metamorphic ability, that he's able to change his body into different types of matter, just like Metamorpho, the superhero. So he's able to, change his, hand into metal or rock or whatever, all different types of matter, which is pretty cool here. So, we see just, Superboy fighting Grungy, but he really literally gets his butt beat by him. So yeah, but then afterwards, we open up with, Dr. Fairchild trying to infiltrate s.t.a.r L.a.b.s for some reason. Now, we don't know her, whole intentions of infiltrating s.t.a.r L.a.b.s, but we just know she's doing it, but we don't know her intentions, so that leaves, another question mark here, what she's doing, and what's technically happening so far with her. But then after that, we open up with Rose Wilson cleaning up the aftermath of the Teen Titans versus, n.o.w.h.e.r.e. or trying to save Superboy storyline, and she's cleaning up the whole entire mess, putting out the fires, cleaning up the rubble, and then she gets hit by a stray beam of some sort, and this this changes Rose Wilson's personality. She gets very angry and frustrated, and she has like this sort of bloodlust coming out, and she tries to attack some of the people who are cleaning up Nowhere. And before she can actually attack them, she gets hit by another beam. Now this one was actually projected by Solstice, one of the Teen Titan members. Now she actually mentions that there's a metahuman called Leash that, you know, shot his beam or power at Rose Wilson, and his ability is able to bring out the inner darkness out of somebody. And so Solstice, you know, used her abilities to counteract Leash's metahuman abilities. And then afterwards, you know, she says that Rose Wilson actually has two personalities here. One being the angry side that we saw come out of her at first was actually her main personality she was, you know, born with. But then, you know, Nowhere tried to, you know, hide that and try to secrete it and create another personality for her. So basically, sort of, Rose Wilson has dual personalities, but it's not like an on-off thing. It's just that this thing has been, you know, hiding deep inside of her. It's like an inner demon sort of thing. But that's about it. And then afterwards, we see Superboy actually take out Grungy, and then in the end, I don't want to spoil what happens in the end, but it has to do something with the culling. But we actually introduced to two new characters who actually make their first appearance in a new DC universe, or the New 52 universe. And these two characters, I don't want to spoil who these people are, because I know there's fans out there who appreciate and love these characters and are excited to see them. But for the people who are actually curious about who these people are, I'll give you a hint. So you guys can skip ahead maybe a couple minutes, because I'm just going to give you a brief hint. So maybe skip like a minute or two. And yeah, so I'm going to give you this hint. One of the characters, you know, initials is BB. And then the other character, I don't want to give too much out, so I'm just going to give this vague hint. If you guys ever played Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, this other person's name actually is the same one as one of the characters from Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep that you get to play as. And then the other one that I can give you a hint for this other person is that if you played Final Fantasy, you know, 6 or Final Fantasy 3 for SNES, the main character you play as in that game, her name's the same as the person that's being appeared in this issue. So you have BB and this other person that the name matches with two other characters from other video games. But I won't. That's all I'm going to give you. So hopefully you guys can get that hint and make your guess. But yes, that's about it for my summary of this issue. Time for you guys to know my thoughts about this. The issue was alright. I thought it was good, but it had its flaws. Like, not a lot of flaws, just a little bit. One being the artwork in this comic is it's on and off. Like, it strays from, you know, the original artwork in Superboy right now. Then it goes from a totally different artwork that's more detailed. But in a way, I felt like it just breaks the atmosphere. Like they actually just changed the artwork for like 2 pages. Then they go back to the original artwork. Then they change the artwork again for another 2 pages. And I'm like, what the hell's going on here? Did they really need to do this? Or did somebody just fill in for this artist here? I was just like, what's going on? That's just a minor gripe. The other minor gripe I have about the art is that they aren't consistent with the Teen Titans costume, because you look closely at Kid Flash's costume. I don't think anybody would pretty much notice this, but I noticed it, is that if you look closely at Kid Flash's, you know, costume, it's designed wrong. He has 1 lightning bolt going down his suit. Normally he only has 2, both on his right side of his rib and left side of his rib, and then the middle section is basically a middle yellow lightning bolt, and that's about it. And then the left and right side are red lightning bolts. So the costume design was off here. Also, the one other bad part about this issue was the creators of this comic, or writers of this comic, actually lied or gave us false information about something. If you read Teen Titans issue number 7, they said that Superboy issue number 8, you will see Wonder Girl versus, Ravager or Rose Wilson, and I was so excited because you saw all the Teen Titans fight, Nowhere, but you never saw Wonder Girl and Rose Wilson fight. And I was so excited, like, oh, they said that, they're going to fight in issue number 8, we're going to see an epic battle between Rose Wilson and Wonder Girl. and we don't see this in this issue. I never mentioned that in my in my summary, so that's a downside. If you guys were looking forward to that, that's a thumbs down there. I mean, you guys can say that, okay, maybe Rose Wilson did get knocked out by getting slammed in the wall against with Wonder Girl slamming her face against the wall. But I have to say that Rose Wilson is a tough fighter. If you can see, she can hold her own against Superboy. So, being that it is, I was like, being like getting knocked out, head first against the wall, just didn't cut it out for me. So I was hoping Wonder Girl would actually fight, Rose Wilson, but I guess we didn't get to see it here. That's just a downside for me. And then the other downside is that, yet again, Superboy throws a lot of information at you. Now, in my summary, there's a lot more things going on here. I mean, there's just so much going on here. They just throw so much at you, and I just didn't want to cover it as much because, there's just too much to go, over in this comic. It's a summary, not like I'm going to give you every single detail. There's a lot going on in Superboy that raises a lot of questions, like how I said question mark on Dr. Fairchild's, intentions of infiltrating S.t.a.R labs. There's so many questions that need some answers. I mean, some comic books do give you like too much information, or they throw so many things at you, or throw a little bit of information and a couple things at you, and it's okay. But I just find it really off-putting when they throw a lot of things at you. Then that's just, my part that I think that's, downside for this comic. I mean, it's still written really well. I did like the, the writing in this issue. It's just that there were too many things that were thrown towards you. And also we get to see Solace use her ability, because we're all, questioning what is Solace's ability. We actually get to see her, use her ability in this issue. And we see two appearances of, two characters that I think a lot of fans will be excited to see. I was excited to see, so that's a good, mark to actually pick up this issue, to see two, characters make their first appearance. But yeah, that's my review of Superboy issue number 8. Still suggest you guys pick this up because it's leading up to another big organization fight sort of thing. So yeah, still highly suggest you pick this issue up, even though they throw a lot of things at you. I think you guys will still like it anyway. But yeah, that's my review of Superboy issue number 8, and hopefully you guys like this review. Talk to you guys later.